So if we go to that question that was there at the start, what has ethical living got to do with mission? Let me quote once more about what it has to say about this in a whole paragraph which talks about how we are to love God's world, not in the sense of loving the world of sin and evil, but loving the world that God has created and loving the world of nations and cultures. And it goes on with one paragraph which says this: we love the world's poor and suffering. The Bible tells us that the Lord is loving towards all that He has made, upholds the cause of the oppressed, loves the foreigner, feeds the hungry, and sustains the fatherless and the widow, all supported by scriptural quotations. The Bible also shows that God wills to do these things through human beings who are committed to such action. God holds responsible, especially those who are appointed to political or judicial leadership in society, but all God's people are commanded by the law and the prophets, the Psalms and wisdom, by Jesus and Paul and James and John, to reflect the love and justice of God in practical love and justice for the needy. Such love for the poor demands that we not only love mercy and deeds of compassion, but also that we do justice through exposing and opposing all that oppresses and exploits the poor. We must not be afraid to denounce evil and injustice wherever they exist. I think, to draw this section to a close, that when I talk about integral mission in this way, binding these things together and not pulling them apart, that really it's something like what the Apostle Paul meant when he used that phrase twice at the beginning and end of Romans, that he said his whole missional effort was to produce among all nations the obedience of faith. It's an interesting phrase. It goes together. It's all one phrase. It's an integrated phrase. Faith's obedience. Not just believe and maybe obey, but the obedience that proves that faith is there, like the breath of life. No breath, no life. No obedience, no faith. No deeds, no faith, said James. The obedience of faith. It's an integrated reality. That which we believe and trust in the Lord Jesus Christ as the gospel, that which we proclaim as the gospel, and that which we live in our lives in all the implications that the Scriptures put upon us. We are called to the integration of faith and works, of word and deed, and of the proclamation and demonstration of the gospel. Or to put it most simply, there is no biblical mission without biblical living.